Behind the scenes on the campaign trail in 2017, the election that made this Parliament and what's now his job so difficult.
You can see just from this picture here.
Separate worlds.
Yeah, they came in. He came in after her. There was no conversation between the two of them.
Steve Back was Access All Areas official campaign photographer for Theresa May's snap election. 50 days that shaped our history. For the first time, he's sharing what he alone saw.
What are we looking at here? This is inside number 10.
Number 10 flat, drawing room basically, and they're now being briefed. They're basically briefing Philip May for the One Show.
Linton Crosby doesn't get a chair.
No, and Nick Timothy takes no notice of them whatsoever. It was quite tense. There's a bit of fake laughing going on.
Make yourself comfortable. But I mean, of course,
boy jobs and girl jobs. You see,
there's boy jobs and girl jobs.
At the heart of Theresa May's snap election, her close aides, Nick Timothy and Fiona Hill. Plus, the Australian election strategist Linton Crosby, now advising Boris Johnson, maybe soon running another snap election.
We're inside CCHQ.
He's giving a pep talk.
Linton Crosby's giving a pep talk. You can see Nick Timothy and Fiona Hill taking absolutely no notice whatsoever. It was a nasty feeling.
Steve Back believes Theresa May's close aides were not just at the heart of her premiership back then, but her confidence.
She absolutely adored her two advisors, Nick and Fiona. They were very close, and she was a different person when they were on board.
Confident, happy.
Confident, relaxed, fun. On her own, that kind of disappeared. Fiona was the Prime Minister's personality, and I have no doubt that Nick was the brain. It must have broken her heart when they were asked to leave.
First of all, can I just say I'm not refusing to take part in debates because I'm here answering questions from you, this audience, this evening.
Straight after this election grilling, Theresa May and her team retired to a Leeds hotel. Steve Back watched as the Prime Minister was beckoned over in the hotel foyer by a visiting women's Christian group.
And this lady here grabbed hold of the Prime Minister and said, "Would you pray with us?"
And that's what she then did.
She's just about to here, and the Tory party were not happy. Her media-minded was here saying, "No pictures, no pictures."
It was an image they thought would be a killer in the newspapers if it got out.
Yes, and I think it would have completely opposite effect. I mean, she genuinely prayed with them.
On one campaign flight, Steve Back snapped Theresa May's favourite relaxation, Sudoku. The Tories have plumped for a new leader whose style couldn't be more different.
Hello, John. Thanks very much.
Good to see you.
A performer politician has replaced the introvert. Steve Back snapped Theresa May just before this encounter, prepping for her last election interview.
Fiona Hill was saying to her, "You can do it, you've got the confidence. Come on, you've got the confidence, you can do it."
Have you ever seen a Prime Minister need to be told you can do this?
No, ever before, and I've covered quite a few Prime Ministers. The fact that her advisor's sitting down, the Prime Minister's standing up, is kind of weird.
Ahead of the thunderbolt result, Steve Back caught the euphoric optimism in the campaign team.
These are incredibly close staff. This is
Thumbs
Fiona
up,
Hill.
thumbs up, thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Soon after these images were snapped, Theresa May learnt she'd lost the majority she'd inherited.
Will you resign, Prime Minister?
For the first time, we can see images of what happened after she went inside party headquarters to speak to her campaign team at 5 in the morning.
Here's Theresa May talking to the people behind me.
The campaign team.
Basically apologising to everyone for an appalling result. Linton Crosby looks completely washed out, finished, gone. There were tears in her eyes. She was in a bit of a mess, poor old thing.
She was ushered from the room in tears. Watching her in the weeks before this moment, Steve Back concluded she was uniquely unsuited to campaigning.
The times I spent with Thatcher in the past, you knew when she was in the room, she would come in and add something to the conversation. You didn't know Theresa May was in the room.
Steve Back remembers someone with no small talk, as he discovered when his assignment started with a chat over tea in number 10.
total silence, and it's quite nerve-wracking. You don't know what to do. I mean,
The
she's the
first
Prime
time you met
Minister
her
of the
properly,
country. Yeah.
20 minutes you're talking and she didn't say a word.
Not a word, not a word, apart from hello, Steve. And I don't think she even asked if I wanted sugar, but when she tipped the tea. But it leaves you feeling a little bit, why? Why has she done this job? Why is she doing this job?
Did you ever get to the bottom of that?
No.
After a shy administrator, the Tories have plumped for a political performer, with no guarantee it'll work any better. A terror they could repeat her snap election mistake. Maybe some comfort if you were the previous one trying to run things, but not much.